Hello, I'm probably riding my bike. I'm in the picturesque town of Lyndhurst in the New Forest in the south of England to visit a shop I've wanted to go to for a while, the Woods Cyclery. It's a beautiful summer July day here and I'm looking forward to going on a sweet bike ride around the gravel paths of the New Forest. It's a pretty amazing bike shop with an insane selection of different frames from brands like Ritchie, Woods Cycles from Shropshire in the UK, Brother Cycles, Surly, Singular, Curve Bikes, Rivendell of course, and the main reason I came, Rune Bicycles, which is a new company. I'm looking forward to trying out their bike. It's a familiar looking frame here. Apparently they had trouble finding a space big enough to hang it, so they got the prime window spot. Some nice Wizard Works bags from the UK as well, a huge selection of tyres, and just all the good bits, all the good handlebars and parts. I think if I lived close to this shop, I'd have no money left, and 1,000 bikes. It would be nice to see my probably riding hats hanging up there in the future. The best bike shops aren't just bike shops, they're a community. Here they have a really nice cafe which was thriving later on in the day. And they also host shop rides every Sunday, where I know a lot of people go. I'll certainly be returning for one of those. Right, time for a ride. I got in touch with Ashley and Tom to see if I could borrow a Rufus Stone to ride for the day. And happily they obliged, and even took the time to join me. So thank you, Ashley and Tom. Tom's the owner of the Woods Cyclery, and he's riding the wonderful Rivendell Appaloosa. And Ash, the owner of the Rune Bikes, of course, is riding his own bike, the Rufus Stone. I've cycled in the New Forest before, but that was about 25 years ago on a camping trip with my dad. I remember being amazed by all the wild horses and all the fun gravel riding with no cuts. It just seems to be endless miles of amazing gravel, not too steep, and just through the beautiful forests and scenery, even on a rainy day like this. I often find myself defending English weather to people who haven't been to England before, but then when I come it's just like this, so maybe it is as bad as people think. Still good fun to ride a bike though. And good to ride with some new internet friends. I'd been chatting to Tom and Ashley on Instagram for a while about bikes, and it's good to meet them in person. Since I started sharing my life online as probably riding, I've met some awesome people all over the world, in Korea, in Japan, and in England too. I always find people that like these kind of steel bikes with wider tyres, you generally have a lot more in common than just liking steel bikes with wider tyres. Always an instant connection, and just easy to get along with, which isn't always the case in my daily life. I'm a bit of an introvert, so it's good to have that starting point, and you get to know each other more through bikes. I'm looking forward to meeting some more of you who may be watching in the future, who knows where. I seem to have a lot of people watching from Philippines, Indonesia, US, Australia, New Zealand, all over. I'm kind of showing off now. But it's just really enjoying having these connections online too. The benefits of social media. Let's stop for a bike check. The Rufus Stone is a lugged steel frame with a quill stem and 650p wheels. Basically my kind of bike exactly. It's good to see a bike like this coming out of a company in the UK. A little bit different to my usual setup with the Rune hilt bar. Drop bars were nice with a nice flare, and Shimano GRX with Renault tyres. The Renault tyres made it feel like it was floating on clouds on these gravel roads. And the GRX was nice for a change. I didn't get a close-up of the lugs, but it's a really nice looking matte finish on the black frame. And the other frame is a nice mustard yellow as well. Definitely worth checking out these bikes. I know he's shipping around all over the world to different shops, and there's going to be some at Rookie Bike as well too. Definitely recommend this bike. If I didn't already have so many bikes, I'd be tempted myself. I rode the medium size, but I think large would have been perfect for me. I had to go on Ash's bike. His setup was a bit nicer with the friction shifting. I might have a similar setup to this with the Renault Hurst tyres if I was getting my own. I think it would be pretty nice with some upright bars as well, maybe some Nitto KT bars. I think Woods Cycles in London had one set up like that. You should check it out on their Instagram. I don't always like cycling in the rain, but on an adventure like this, with somewhere I haven't been to for a long time, it was quite exciting and kind of made the forest a bit gloomy and mysterious in a good way. I appreciate that Tom and Ashley came out on a day like this and even carried on the longer route when I requested. On a glorious English summer's day like this, there's nothing better than a refreshing ice cream. Another member from the Woods Cyclery, Scott, came to join us, and I enjoyed this raspberry double scoop cone. Scott was riding one of the Woods rental bikes. They have a load of Surleys and other bikes to rent too, because his bike is currently getting made. He's getting himself a mustard Rune Rufus Stone, which I'm looking forward to seeing finished. The rain was gradually getting heavier through the day, but it didn't stop us from enjoying our ride. My Rufus Stone with its knobbly Renault Hurst tyres handled the gravel very nicely, even through the muddier, slightly slipperier stuff. I never felt worried about falling off. Just riding around chatting with a huge grin on my face, mud flying into my face and all over my clothes. So much of my riding is in Seoul and in the huge city for daily life, which I love too. But this kind of riding is my favourite.
So what's your name again?
Awesome bikes, good company, good conversation, a bit of rain, and amazing gravel paths. I felt sorry for all these kids doing their Duke of Edinburgh award. I don't think they were having as much fun as we were.
You've got to walk your bike up a mountain and then...
It's vital to stop now and again to take in the view. The New Forest is a national park in the south of England, and it's got quite a unique landscape with ancient woodlands, wetlands and bogs and open heathlands. Lots of different plants and animals, and the cattle and horses seem to have free roam, which is quite unique in the UK, and it's nice to see them just walking around the forest and grazing. I think they have a big part in maintaining the forest too. I can see why Tom and Ashley are happy to live here. I could be tempted myself too with all this riding. An amazing bike shop that has good coffee too. Just need to find if it has good food as well. Overall, I thought we'd cycled about 20 to 30k, but we'd actually did 50, but it was so fun I didn't notice it was that long in the slop. I think now the New Forest and the Woods Cyclery is going to have to be a must stop off every time I return to the UK. I would love to join one of the Sunday shop rides too, and would like to bring along my brothers and some friends as well, and make new friends of course. There's also a route called the Rat Run, which Tom has made. A 24-hour challenge or 3-day relaxed tour. A 160-mile loop around the New Forest and down to the Purbeck coast. And it's got a mix of bridleways and single track. I think it's quite a challenge, but it looks like a beautiful ride. Next time. There's details of that ride with maps and itinerary on the Woods Cyclery website if you want to check it out. I think today was a breeze compared to the Rat Run. But now we're getting closer to town and I'm getting hungry and ready for a new caffeine hit. So I'm excited to get back to the shop and try out some more coffee and some of their food. I was wishing I could take the Rufus Stone with me to take back to my hometown to ride some of the trails around there. But it wasn't possible. I didn't have enough time to return it to the New Forest. Right back at the shop, and extremely muddy. I had to wipe down the chair that I sat on after I finished eating. Got myself a cortado and a delicious mortadella sandwich, followed by some more V60 pour over brewed by Tom. So I was extra wide awake for the drive home. And the Rune looking pretty fancy, covered in mud. And with my bike check, I almost forgot to take this awesome head badge. You should check out Rune Bicycles' website to find out more about the naming of his bikes. Some cool stories. Anyway, I had an amazing ride. I hope you enjoyed watching. Like and subscribe if you want to see more. See you later.